Live from Alachua, Florida, I'm Amrita Keli.
And I'm Namamrita. Welcome to Nectar Talks, from the heart of New Ramanreti, the largest Hare Krishna community in North America and the home of thousands of Bhakti Yoga practitioners.
In our ongoing interviews, we dig deep into our search for loving connections with Krishna and each other.
With you, we hope to uncover the real-life stories and inner journeys of our vibrant community of friends and special guests.
Like bees searching for nectar, we seek to extract pearls of wisdom from how they live their lives and the lessons they can impart to us and our listeners.
If you're seeking nectar, look no further.
All right, let's get started.
Hello, everyone. Amrita Keli, how are you?
Welcome, everyone, to the first mini episode of Nectar Talks. I'm great, Namamrita. How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm very excited. Glad to see you on
Great.
Zoom.
Great to see you, too.
And I want to welcome everybody who's joining us, who's discovering this new show, Nectar Talks.
Yes. Before we start, I want to introduce everyone to you.
Sure.
So this is my friend, Namamrita. He was born in the Hare Krishna movement in ISKCON, and his parents are pretty famous pioneers in the movement. He grew up in mostly the south of France, not Paris, before moving back to the States for college and for flight school. And he's now a commercial airline pilot, and he lives in Alachua with his beautiful wife Sundari and their daughter Radhika. And he served on the board of the Krishna House, which is a student center in Gainesville, and also the board of the Alachua Temple, New Ramanreti. And he has some pretty cool hobbies. He flies something that looks like a lawnmower with a parachute attached to it. It looks so scary, but I kind of want to try. He's also in a punk rock band, and he plays guitar. Nice. Anything else that you want to mention?
No, I'd rather speak a little bit about your wonderful credentials. And again, thank you for joining us from your corner of Florida in Jacksonville. And you grew up in Florida to what you call a modern family. And you also have some interesting hobbies. Aggressive rollerblading.
It's where you rollerblade on ramps.
Oh, okay. I got it. And barefoot hiking. I'll have to try that out too. That sounds like a lot of fun too.
Everyone should do it every day.
Yeah. Connecting with the earth.
Literally.
So you were introduced to the devotees as a student when you were attending the University of Florida in Gainesville, where you studied cultural anthropology and religion. And eventually you moved into the Krishna House, which is a world-renowned ashram. And you studied and served there for 3 years and eventually became the Bhakti Academy director. And in 2012, you moved to Jacksonville, where you now reside, and you became the university chaplain for UNF, the University of North Florida. And you served there for 7 years, and your husband, Leela Kishore, and yourself opened the Bhakti House, modeled after Krishna House. And you
tiny little Krishna House.
Yeah, you did a really, really nice project there. I've heard so much about it, and you've even hosted students in your own home, which you turned into an ashram for 2.5 years. So thank you for that wonderful service. That's a little bit about us. So tell us about the show. What's Nectar Talks going to be all about?
Okay, let's get to the show. So this is going to be a live airing talk show, and we're going to be on Zoom, Facebook, and YouTube. We're hoping to eventually make it a podcast. And at Nectar Talks, we believe that everyone is the expert of their own unique experience. And that's really the nectar we're seeking, is to hear from our guests' personal experiences. So you can join us. We'll be airing every first Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m. Also, I want to mention that we really want to make it interactive. So we'll have time afterwards for questions and answers and just opening it up to a community discussion for all the people who are joining us live. We really look forward.
Fantastic. So we want to dedicate this program to everyone who joins, but also specifically to our wonderful local community here, Namamrita, which is the Hare Krishna temple just north of Gainesville, often called Alachua. And if we combine the two communities between the Krishna House Ashram, which is located near the University of Florida in Gainesville, and our local community here, we count over 1,000 devotees. So there's really a wealth of people that we can learn from. And we also find ourselves in this pandemic. So this was another motivator for starting this show so that we could associate with each other, get to know each other more, because it's not always so easy in such a large community. And the last thing I wanted to say about our community is that it's the home to many, many disciples of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who was the founder of the Hare Krishna movement worldwide. And they were pioneers along his sides to get this wonderful philosophy of yoga out into the world. So we hope to interview a lot of them. And speaking of Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, tell us about one of the purposes that we have for this show.
Okay, when Prabhupada established ISKCON, the Hare Krishna movement, he came up with 7 main purposes, and they're really foundational to what we try to do as a community worldwide. We want to incorporate many of those purposes, but I'm going to read to you number 3 right now, which spoke to us a lot when developing ideas for the project. To bring the members of the society together with each other and nearer to Krishna, and thus to develop the idea within the members and humanity at large that each soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
That's wonderful. Yeah, as my dad always says, he sums up that the human condition is that we are eternal souls trapped in a temporary body. So we want to explore that with our participants, and
we're all in this together.
Yeah. And we're going to be doing this through different categories of interviews, what we're calling mini series. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, our mini series, so the first one is called Jivas of Alachua. Jivas means souls, so we're looking at individual personalities. We'll highlight youth and senior Srila Prabhupada disciples and everyone in between, just to hear how bhakti plays out in their life. We'll also look at couples, new Namamrita couples, and there are some great devotional families and relationships that we just are very inspired by. So we want to hear from them. What else?
Some other mini series we want to explore are the bhakti career balance. There's such a wealth of different professions that are being practiced in our community, anywhere from dentists to postmen to doctors, taking care of kids at home, teachers, you name it. And it's such an individual balance that needs to be figured out for each one of those professions and individuals. So we hope to learn from you guys. How are you striking that balance, and how do you view these different professions from the spiritual perspective, which is a very interesting topic. We also have a series that we're calling a walk down memory lane, where we'll interview disciples of Srila Prabhupada and learn from them what it was like to be in his personal association, and just some of the amazing stories that we all know from those times, which were just so incredible. And finally, we want to have special guests, even from outside of our community, to speak about relevant topics. Special topics that you could suggest to us, or some that we've kind of identified ourselves. I know you had some things you wanted to share about those topics.
I'm really excited to get raw and real and vulnerable in some of these conversations. So I'm hoping that we can talk about things like addiction and working through spiritual doubts, raising children in the modern world in a spiritual way, and finding ways to, find service that is meaningful to us, navigating personal upheavals in our lives, things that we can all very much relate to and need help on.
Yeah. Awesome. So that sums it up for the show. But before we go, I want to give a special thank you and shout out to our tech team, Vaishnavi and Madhurya Leela Prabhus, who've been helping us in setting up this program. And they're going to be
behind the scenes for everything we do.
That's right. They'll be there to kind of pass along the questions and hopefully keep things running smoothly as we do this online. And also, we want to give a special shout out to Danya for letting us use her track "Fire." And thank you for that.
We love you, Danya.
We want to showcase more of our local talents as well as part of this program,
of which we have so much.
So thank you again, everybody, for joining us in this little introduction. And we'll see you very soon on December 2nd, live on Zoom.
7 p.m. Find out who's in the hot seat. We really want you to be there with us.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Be well, everyone.
We're going to have so many bloopers. And
don't you dare put this in the bloopers.
It's too late now.
My whole setup is so unsustainable though, because it's ridiculous. Like the microphone is set up with a paint can.
Yeah, I'm on 2 tables on top of each other, all kinds of rigging.
Also, we want to give a shout out to Danya, who gave us the blessings to use her song. What is the song called?
Fire, I think.
From the album Fire?
I don't know. We'll have to look that up.
Okay.
And our listeners. If you're seeking nectar, look no further.
Okay, so for our mini series, he's literally shutting the computer.
Yes. Another very special feature about this temple is that it is the home. How's my hair? How my earbuds?
The largest Hare Krishna community in North America. And the home of thousands of Bhakti Yoga practitioners.
And he actually grew up in Paris before coming back to the States.
All Americans call France Paris. But that's okay. Keep on.
It's an ancient tradition with very,
Welcome to the show, everyone.
Oh my gosh, the Lord looks so dark again.
We're in a freaking pandemic. Where did that come from?
Hare Krishna. I am exhausted and relieved that we're recording. And that's a wrap.
Can you please straighten out your thumbs? I don't care how this comes out. We're done.